G'day everyone, welcome to another episode of Winging It Down Under.
In this midweek episode, we're going to show you some of the maintenance and upgrades we've done to the caravan after travelling and living in it for the last 2.5 years. So hopefully, you can have a look and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Okay, everybody, today's job for Steve is, as you can see, Dena will put the camera in here. We've got no shelves in here. They just give you hanging space, which is, well, I think it's a waste of time. You can't hang much in there anyway. So I'm going to put shelves in there. So Dena will show you what it was like when we bought it. And on the other side, I've already put shelves in there, and I'm going to do this side as well. So Dena can show you that. Okay, so this is melamine. Bought it at Bunnings. It comes in I think it's 295 width by 2.4 long, or 1200 or 1800. It's 16 mil, 15 or 16 mil. I'm not sure exactly which. I think it might be 15. So that's what I'm using for the shelves. They cut it for me there as well, which is great. So you just went down there, measure up before you go down there. They'll cut them for you, and then I just bought the shelf pins at Bunnings as well. And it's just a matter of, the hardest part of the whole job is getting both hands into those narrow little cupboards just to put the bloody shelf brackets on. But anyway, that's my little job.
Oh, Steve's on a mission. What are you doing, Steve?
I am just drawing a little picture out and measurements of my strap that I'm going to put under the tanks, just to put an extra strap on my water tanks.
Oh yeah.
Just as like I say, a lot of people have had issues with their tanks falling off, even our friends, and so I'm going to put an extra strap under there, just to give us a bit more.
So what's that, all the measurements that you need? Just
measurements and how I want the strap made up, and the threaded rod, and all that. Where I've got to get under the van now and measure up all the...
Looks like your cabinet making skills are coming into play.
Yes.
Plus you've got your mad scientist glasses on.
I've got my mad scientist glasses on, yep. As soon as I put these on, I turn into a mad scientist. Now I'm just a normal bloke. Now, mad scientist. Now I'm going to scunge around under the caravan.
Your favourite thing.
Oh, I hate doing that. 45. I'll do it 50. 50 mil. Okay. Yeah, 3 mil thick. Yeah, 3 mil should be alright. I reckon 720 will be alright. That.
Okay, so we found this place in Kilcoy where we're staying that will make up the bracket that Steve wants.
Yeah, very handy.
So he's done all the measuring.
Most big places don't want to know these little jobs like this. They're not interested. It's too much fiddling around for them. But these guys are really good. They're quite happy to do it for us. So we'll give it a go. G'day everyone. So I've just been over to the engineering shop, and I've got this made up and these made up. And can you guess what I'm going to do with them? Well, I'm going to climb under the van and I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put that across there like so, and these brackets are going to go up on here, and I'm going to put an extra mounting bracket for these tanks. This is just an added safety for us, probably over the top, but anyway, I'm going to do it. It just gives us that added, if one of these does break, there's 3 on there rather than just one at each, one on each side. Alright, so now they're on, hopefully. There we go. Right. Alrighty, now it's just a matter of tightening them up. Okay, so the reason I put that on is, like I said before, I have had friends and people on YouTube I've seen their straps have broken, one of the straps have broken, then the tank hits the ground, tears everything off, does all sorts of horrible things. And that's not perfect what I've done under there, but it's certainly, if one strap breaks, that strap will hold it up so that we can, you know, get to the next town or whatever and get it sorted out. But they're 95 litre tanks, so that's 95 kilos of water, and they're hanging on two brackets that are just held in with, you know, a couple of screws, and you know, probably on bitumen roads it probably would never be an issue, but if you're going on corrugations and stuff, chances are a lot of people, and a lot of people do, bust them, so bust the brackets. So at least if a bracket breaks, I've got another bracket in the middle that the tank will hang on, and I can at least tie it up or whatever I can do to get to the next town. It's not going to fall off and drag along the ground. So anyway, that's my theory. I could be wrong. So anyway, I wanted to get that done because as you can see out there, there's a huge big storm coming, and there is a severe storm forecast for this afternoon. So I wanted to get it done this afternoon so I didn't have to go crawling under that van after it's been raining and sludging around in the mud. Yeah, I haven't been happy with the our power, battery power and solar power at the moment. We're always struggling to keep power. I can't run the air conditioner for very long at all, and we've been in some really hot weather where we really needed to run the aircon, and we've got a Jenny on the back that we can run it off, but a lot of times there's other people around and you don't want to be like encroaching on people's, you know, quiet time with a bloody generator blasting up in the background. So I'm going to get this system we've got upgraded. So at the moment I've got a 300 amp hour lithium Enerdrive battery in there. I've only got a 2000 watt inverter, but that runs the aircon no problem. The issue is that the battery isn't enough and we don't have enough solar on the roof. So we've got the Caravan booked in to get a 620 amp lithium battery put in, and possibly 3 more solar panels up on the roof to give us a lot more power coming in, and to make it more usable on the road for us, because we're living here. So, you know, you really want this to be comfortable all the time, and it's not comfortable when it's 30 plus degrees and you can't turn the aircon on for more than an hour at the most, you know, and then you've got to turn it back off and there's no breeze, you know, or you've got to go out and start the generator and have everybody throwing things at your caravan. And but anyway, so that's going to be interesting. So what we'll do is we'll show you what it is now, and then we'll get it all done. I'll put the drone up shortly and I'll get some footage on the roof of what the solar panels are on the roof, and then when it's all done I'll go back through it again and show you what we've done to it to give us a much better power system on the road, off grid. Okay, so what we've got under our seats at the moment, this is obviously our 300 amp hour Enerdrive lithium battery. This over here is our inverter, which is only a 2000 watt inverter, but that's enough for us. We don't need to run, you know, multiple things at once, and it does the job. Over here, which you can just see, is one of the solar controllers for my outside solar panels, and this one here is I've left it unmounted because I didn't really have anywhere to mount it, but I've got it so that I can unplug these two Anderson plugs here and plug that plug into that one, and then I've got direct power from the battery back out to the front plug, the front Anderson plug, and I can run my pump. I've got 2 pumps, so I can run one pump for pumping the Caravan up on this here, and I can run the other pump off the back of the car to pump the car tyres up. So I can have 2 pumps going at once. If one pump dies, I've always got 2 pumps. Well, we've got another pump left over. So if you have one pump and it dies, you're buggered. You've got no pump. So anyhow, That's my thing. Also down here, this is the brake controller, so that's set there, and then you've just got your fuses and things here. It looks pretty messy under here at the moment, and it probably is, but the electrician's gonna tidy all that up, sort it out, put a 620 amp hour battery in there, and all the extra solar panels, and I think we'll be happy little chappies.
Morning everyone.
G'day everybody. So today we are towing the caravan up to the auto electricians to get the new battery put in. We're getting a bigger battery and also some more solar panels put on the roof.
So that's called a solar upgrade, isn't it?
Solar upgrade. Yeah, so he's got a few things to do today. So we'll drop the van off and then we'll probably go into Redcliffe around the waterfront there somewhere and have a couple of coffee and something to eat. And
yeah, how exciting.
Yeah, going to be good. Have a lot of power. We should have, I think when we're finished, we'll have 620 amps of lithium, and all up with my outside solar panels, we'll have 1450 watts of solar coming in if I put the solar panels out as well. So
yeah, okay, let's hook up and
let's do it.
Sort it out.
Raining today too, so
yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
It's changed from the heat wave we were in.
Oh yeah, I was over that heat. I was over it.
Okay, we'll get going.
Yep, let's do it.
Your destination is on the left.
Okay, so we left the van with Aussie Auto Electrics for the day and then come back in the afternoon to pick it up, and they gave us a rundown on what they did and how it all works. Well, good day everybody. So just going to let you see now what we had done. We did show you some video under here with our battery system before we went to the auto electricians, and so I'll just show you now what they've done and how much they've tidied it up. It looks way better than it did. So I'll just get my little light here and show you. Okay, so obviously this is the new 620 amp hour battery, which basically doesn't take up much more room than the 300 amp hour, so it's just a little bit wider this way. That's the new solar controller he's put in down here, the blue one, and that's the new, put a new DC to DC charger in for us so that we can charge it properly when we're actually travelling on the road. And basically all the wiring's hidden, it's in that sealed box, vented outside, so that's the new regulations for lithium batteries inside caravans. We've also now got on the roof fitted 3 200 watt solar panels. We originally had 275 watt solar panels on the roof. Now we've got 3 200s plus the 275, so all up we've got 950 watts of solar on the roof, and I've got 500 watts of solar that I can put out, portable, that I can put out if we're parked in the shade a bit. I can get it. I've got another 500 watts I can put outside to charge that battery, so we should have no issues anymore with batteries. Okay, so now that that's all done, we're looking forward to doing a lot more off-grid camping and not having to pay for power. Also, we've sold the generator because there's no point in carrying that now. We've got all up, we've got 1450 watts that we can have pumping into that 620 amp hour battery, so that should theoretically fill that battery up pretty quickly. So yeah, we should be able to live off grid, no problem at all. And if we need the aircon, we can just turn it on, and yeah, so we're really looking forward to that part of travelling now. Morning everyone. So this morning I'm going to take the wheel bearings off and repack them, put some new seals in and put it back together again. So we've had the van for about 2.5, 3 years now. We've already had it done once by the caravan place, they did it, but I'm going to do it myself this time. It's not a big job, so we'll give it a go. First of all, take the wheels off, and I've already undone most of the nuts. So we just take these caps off. Just get a screwdriver or whatever, just tap it in there a bit. Just get a bigger screwdriver, blade screwdriver, and if you just give it a bit of a twist, it should just pop off pretty easy. Like so. There we go. Alright. Just wipe the excess grease off here, just so I can get that split pin out. Make it easier to get it out. Okay, so next thing is to get the split pin out of here. Pretty simple job. Okay, next thing is undo the big locking nut. Comes off pretty easily. Okay, so now we've got the locking nut off. Just got to pull this out, the bearing out, which it comes out pretty easily, like so. Bearing out, and then the hub out. Drum, I mean. Alrighty, that's that done. So the next job is, because we're replacing the seals in the back here, in the back of the drum. This is the seal here. So I'm going to knock that out, take the inside bearing out and degrease it, and then I'll put a new seal in, and I'll put a new the old bearing in, but I'll have re-greased it. Okay, so here's something I prepared a little earlier. Very expensive tool, very expensive, but it does the job. So just get onto the bearing, on the edge of the bearing, just give it a tap, don't go too nutso with it, just work your way around the bearing and you'll knock the bearing and the seal out together. It should be all out now. Yeah, there it is. So there's your seal, and that's the bearing. So now I'm going to get some degreaser, and I'll throw that away because that's no good. I'll put a new one in. So that's the old seal. Obviously we're chucking that away because I've got new seals for it. So I'm basically re-greasing the bearings and putting new seals in. So I think if you're going to go to the effort of re-greasing the bearings, just put new seals in. They're not that expensive. Okay, so now I'm just going to clean all this old grease out of here. It's absolutely chock-a-block with grease. Start off with all new grease. Make sure there's no grime or grit in there, which is pretty good. Nothing in there. So I'll get a clean rag and give that a wipe with a clean rag. Okay, and what I check for is, if you have a look at your cones here, you don't want to see, you want to see it like that, fairly. If there's pits in there and marks and lines, then I would be replacing the seals. But if it's nice and smooth like that, then there's no need to replace the bearings. And the other thing to check on them is just check the actual bearing rollers, the needle rollers, to see that they're the same. there's no lines or pits or anything on there. It's all nice and smooth, which they are, so I don't need to replace them. I'll just wash the old grease out and I'll repack them with new grease and then put it all back together. Alright, so now I've just got to wash the bearings out. So I've got some degreaser. So I obviously use degreaser, and after I've finished with the degreasing the bearings, I always rinse them out under the tap, in water before I put the new grease in, so that all the degreaser is out. Otherwise, if you leave degreaser in there, it can possibly break down the new grease you're putting in there, which defeats the purpose of putting new grease in. Okay, so the way I grease my bearings is, it's a horrible job, but it's the way I do it anyway. You can get things to re-grease them, but I just do it with my hands. So I just get a big clump of grease, put it on my hand like so, and get the big side of the bearing where the biggest opening is, and then if you just squash it onto the edge of the grease like so, just keep doing that, and you will see the grease starting to squash up out of the top. Just keep doing it till that grease, see it squeezing out of the top there, the top of the bearing. That means you've got the grease all the way through. So then I just go all the way around doing that, which is a greasy, horrible job, but anyway, it's how I do it. Just go all the way around till it comes out all the way around the bearing, so you know you've got new grease through the whole bearing. And a little bit of the old grease coming out there, which is good. Push all the new stuff through. Just keep doing it until the new grease comes through. See it squeezing up? Just put some grease in here, inside here. There's the bearing I've just re-greased. And just put that in there like so. And this is my seal in my hand here. Just put some grease all around that as well. This is a messy job. Anyway. Okay, so now putting these seals in, you've just got to make sure you get it even all the way around before you start tapping it, otherwise you can bugger your seal up putting it in. So I've just got my big flat lumpy here. That should be flush all the way around, which that is. Okay, so I'm just going to give the brakes a bit of a spray with this rapid brake cleaner. So I just got that from Super Cheap Autos. Just going to wipe the off there, put some grease on that. So I'm just putting grease in here. I like to have plenty of grease in there. That's enough. Now that I've done that, let's push that on there. Alright, bearing, the outer bearing, let's push that in. There we go. Yeah, that's in. Goes on there like so. And then your locking nut. Okay, once you get your lock nut on, and get your shifter, especially when you put new bearings in, by loosening that and turning it and tightening it, and just do it a few times, and you'll just make sure that you seat the cones in properly. We haven't taken the cones out, so don't need to go real hard. I normally just tighten it up till it's tight, like till the nut's tight. A lot of times when you tighten that up like I just did then, this will be quite hard to turn, but for some reason, and these bearings have always been like that, even when you tighten the nut up they still turn, but that's okay. So I'll just tighten it up quite tight. Okay, so, and there's holes in this shaft here. You obviously line them up to put your split pin through once you get it right. Find out, oh, there's a, is that a hole? No. There's a hole right there. Okay, so yeah, that should be alright. So before I put the split pin in, I'll put the wheel back on and just put a couple of nuts on it, just so that I can make sure that I've got it adjusted properly. Right, that wasn't half hard. Right, one top, one bottom. Just so that I can check that I've got it adjusted properly before I put the split pin in. Turn it like that, it should be running free, which it is, and you don't want any slop that way. There's no noise, there's no clunking, no nothing. So now that we've got the nut on and we've checked for movement and the fact that it's running free, there's no movement there, I've lined up that hole there with the split pin. Look at that, goes straight in there like so, and then just get the pliers. Just grab that and bend that up over the top, like so. And then I just cut this off down here, about there somewhere, just leave a little bit sticking out. Okay. I just put a bit of extra grease around here. It's probably not necessary, but I do it anyway. What the heck? Grease is cheap. Alright. You don't want so much that you fill up your cap, but anyway. There, that should be enough in there. Don't film that. That's good. No movement. Perfect. Okay, so I always just start them all by hand so that you don't strip the threads putting them on, and then always do opposite. So just go around and then once I get the Caravan on the ground, I'll get the tension wrench and I'll tension all them up properly. But at least now they're tight enough to put the van down. So our Caravan, the torque on these is 135 Newton meters. So I'm just going to set this tension wrench to 135. Okay, that's one. Now I've tensioned them all, so I'll just go around now and just make sure that they're all, just do them again just to make sure they're all good. That's good. They're good. Yep. 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 Right. Okay, so that's the wheel bearings done. Next year, it'll be 3 years. Next year will be 4 years, so I'll probably just replace them all next year. Replace all the bearings, cones, the whole lot. But for another year, that's fine. And probably I'll do the brakes as well next year, but they don't need doing at the moment. So yeah, I think yeah, that's enough for me. That's enough. And I'll just say it again, I'm not a mechanic, so you know, this is just how I do it. So yeah, it's not that hard. That's the hinges, that's what breaks that bit of aluminium there. It's just a really weak, it's just a weak part of them. Look at that, they just snap off. They just get, I don't know how, but it just gets brittle and snaps. So instead of pulling all this whole, which is, they say pull that off to replace them, you can leave the base of it there, leave that piece and just take this off.
Oh yeah.
Right, just take those off and just replace that part. So I'll show you how to do that. So in the end there's a little tiny grub screw in each end. So if you take that grub screw out of the end, like so, there it is there. You can see how small it is. Easy to lose that. Put it there. I've taken both out. Two grub screws, and then you can just push that through like so. That's your pin. Take that middle out like so, and then you put those back on there. It's a little washer, spacer, bush I suppose you'd call it. And then what happens then is you put one bush on, and then we've got to pull that back. It's a bit fiddly, but, and I haven't got any glasses on. I should have my glasses on. Oh, screwdriver. Oh, that is. Yeah, screwdriver. Okay, I've got to get that washer in there. Down in there, like so. Alright. And then we've got to push that little bush through. Okay, if you've got a little screwdriver or a punch, because it's just awkward to get that pin through, just got to tap him in there. Sloop, like that. That's it, it's gone in. Right, now you've just got to put the grub screw. So there's the hinge is on, and then it's just a matter of putting your door on there and screwing your door on to your actual hinge. So that way you don't have to pull this whole framework out just to replace the center ones, because you don't really need to replace them center ones. They don't usually break. It seems to break. These are the bits here that break on here. So there it is there, it's on. So it's just a matter of, like I said, get your door, put it on, screw it on from the inside, and there you go, you're pretty much set. A little trick that I found to make it easier, you've got a little Allen grub screw in there and a little grub screw in there, so those grub screws come out and you take the shaft out. That way you only have to replace this part of the hinge, which is here. You don't have to replace that bit there, which means you don't have to take this whole thing off to replace them. But to get that, the easy way is to get the pin out for a start, and then once you've got the pin out, put one grub screw back in to here, and then slide your pin in, put it through, and then what I've done is I've filed a little bit. You can see just there where I've filed a bit of an angle. See that side, there's no angle on this framework. This side there's a little, because what happens is the pin, actually the grub screw, you can't get your Allen key onto the grub screw because of that. But if you just file that little bit away there, you can then get the grub screw started straight and then use your Allen key to tighten it up. So leave the grub screw in this side here. Yeah. Push your pin in from this way, and your two little washers, push your pin in from this way, and then you've only got to put one grub screw in, which means you just need to file one side. That's about it.
Well, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of our videos, subscribe, because we put one out every Saturday. And we've got some exciting episodes coming up. The next one, we're heading up to Cooktown.
Yep, where we look around Cooktown, venture along the Bloomfield track, which is quite interesting, Cape Tribulation, Black Mountain, Lion's Den Hotel. It's interesting stuff. It's worth having a look at.
And then we go further into the Queensland outback.
Heading towards the Gulf of Australia. So,
Gulf of Carpentaria.
Well, is it not the Gulf of Australia?